We're in the shadows of the beautiful San Bernardino Mountains in Banning, California for the Night of Fire. Hi everybody, I'm J.R. Ibarra. Welcome to Banning Raceway, where for the first time in 30 years, Southern California drag fans are being treated to nitro-burning fuel altereds. Not since the days of Orange County and Irwindale raceways have Southern California drag racing fans been treated to nitro-burning fuel altereds on a Saturday night. But the Night of Fire here at Banning Airport is reviving the glory days of drag racing with a special night of nostalgia racing. One of the most familiar faces to SoCal Nitro fans is that of Al Mousy Marcellus, one half of the notorious Marcellus and Borscht Winged Express fuel alter team. We caught up with Al and talked about this famed fuel altered of the past and the present. Mousy, talk about the recreation of the Winged Express here.
Well, I started it. Willie was still alive, and we were going to bring it on. He said he could drive it during the day, but he passed on before I got it finished, so I just kept going in his memory. I found Mike Boyd as the driver, and I think Willie sent him to me because it's like Willie's in there helping him drive that thing, and the more he drives it, the more he gets like Willie, so I think it's catchy. We've been having all kinds of fun with it. We're not out trying to break any world records. It runs just like it did back in the 60s because everything's the same, the technology. I took it right out of the rule books of 1969. It's true nostalgia.
Al, what do you think of the prospect of this new racetrack and having a facility here in Southern California again?
Well, I think it's going to be good because I was talking to people from San Diego and they love it already. And we towed up here in Nothing Flat, and it's easy to get to, and the people are ready for a place like this. They'll drive out of their way to come because Bakersfield's so far, and Palmdale is, the same way, and people, they like it up here. The location is great, and I think if they play their cards right, this will become a major strip because everybody in Southern California is ready. It's about the closest thing that's going to happen that I know of, and we're going to push it, the best we can. But other than that, I'd say the sooner the better.
The special night of racing has been put together through the combined efforts of Drag City and the Banning Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber's Hector Irizarry gives us the lowdown on what this event means to the city of Banning.
Well, this is our third event. Our first event was a car show and drag race that we call Stagecoach to Hot Rods. Our second event came out in April. That one was called the Spring Drags 2000. This is our first anniversary of our first event. That was the Stagecoach to Hot Rods that we did October of last year.
The significance of possibly having a drag strip here in Banning, talk about that and what impact that might have on this community.
Well, I think it would have a great impact on the community, as has been in some of the press releases. They're looking at it like a $35 million a year economic impact in our small city. Right now, our small city is about 25 to 26,000 in population. By bringing a major facility like this, I think that as far as tourism, bringing the motorsport industry to the city of Banning would be an enormous impact on the city as far as economic goes.
What is your impression of today's event? Pretty good turnout of both cars and spectators so far.
It's been an excellent turnout, and I really think that a lot of that is attributed to some of the advertising that we have done over the internet, also some of the advertisements as far as posters and flyers, and a lot of it just word of mouth.
What do you hope for the future now that this ball is kind of rolling and getting a little bit more momentum behind it?
Well, it looks like what's happening, especially in Southern California, that we're going back, we're repeating history again. Most drag racing back in the 60s started as, I would say, these small abandoned open airports, and basically we're going right back to again. Now, as far as getting a permanent facility, the American Racing LLC has signed an agreement with the city of Banning for a right to negotiate, an exclusive right to negotiate. Hopefully, with the citizens and the citizens knowing that that it would have a great impact, that we can get something going and something going quickly. We hope possibly hope that maybe next year we can break ground and get a track going here, because having an airport drag is a little bit more difficult than having our own stationary track.
Anything else you want to add, Hector, that we hadn't talked about?
I'd like to say that I really would like to thank the racers themselves, because if it wasn't for the racers themselves coming out here and giving us the support, coming out here enjoying it, and the participants, this would never happen.
All right, good luck to you, Hector.
Thank you, appreciate that.
As a warm-up to what the night has in store for the race fans, let's go trackside and catch some of the preliminary action. Where are you from, Gary?
Cherry Valley.
Talk about your race car. This is an obvious throwback to the old AA gas supercharged days.
Yes, it is. It's a 1941 Willys. It's got a 541-inch Stage 8 Keith Black Chrysler in it with a 4-speed B&J. Fun car.
How fast will it run?
We run a 786, 172.
Kind of a short wheelbase. Must be kind of a blast to drive out there.
It is so much fun you would not believe. It's probably the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
Where do you guys normally run?
Oh, we've done Sacramento, Boise, Phoenix, Medford, Oregon. Just about anywhere they got a good race, we're willing to go.
I know there's a lot of nostalgia drag racing fans who, when they see something like this, just brings so much memories back from Irwindale and Lyons and all those other tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the gal I used to go with in high school is a gal that's still my wife 36 years ago. And that's the only place she got to go when we went on a date, was either Irwindale, the old San Gabriel, or it was drag racing. That's the only place we went.
Talk about this event. This is, kind of historic, essentially having a return of cars from yesteryear wind up in Southern California again.
Oh, I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's got all these guys out here, and it's so nice because it's a very relaxed atmosphere, and it's kind of like going back to the 60s where everybody's just out here having a good time. It's not a big dollar high, corporate deal. It's just a lot of people getting together having a good time with automobiles. It's great.
Another one of the heavy-hitting fuel alters on the night's card is Kevin Glass and his rat-motored Fiat Topolino. Tell us about this fuel alter behind us.
Oh, it's fuel altered stuff, huh? Well, it all started with Frank and Brenda Reeves. They're the car owners, and I've been driving dragsters and this car here for I've been driving this car for a good 2 years now. I've been driving my personal cars for about 10 years, roughly, on and off. And it just gets going faster and faster.
I imagine one of these are a lot of fun, and they're a handful as well. What's the quickest and fastest you've run with this car?
Track conditions are very particular. We really depend on a good track surface. We've raced around Arizona. We race all in California. We just recently ran a 737 up at Bakersfield, and that's for an eighth mile conversion is a 471 is what we did at 148. So at half track is going 148. We went 184 and a quarter. As far as the computer's concerned, we're just shy of pulling 3 Gs on the launch. It's a ride.
Talk about this event and this proposed racetrack. I mean, for the first time in 25 years, we're seeing nitro fuel alters for the first time in Southern California.
This is awesome. I think the location of this place, I think, is great. If the weather's permitting to where we can run good numbers and the track conditions and so forth, I mean, I think this is ideal. Everybody from LA can come over here, and us from San Diego. We need it. We really do need it. And I've been treated very well up here today. That helps go a long ways, So I'm having a good time.
What kind of performances are you hoping for tonight?
Like I said, it's a serious car, and we got to be careful. So I'd love to back it up with a 470, and everybody would go crazy, If we can get 150 mile an hour out of there, that'd be pretty good.
The early to mid-'60s saw a variety of body and chassis styles, which were part of the early fuel-burning classes. Today, Dave Grusin has revived some of that flavor with his very special race car. Talk about this race car. You take a look at it, and it's a definite throwback to the 60s.
My dad did a heck of a job. I was still running Volkswagen dragsters, and went out to watch the March meet one year, and first time he'd been at the racetrack in 25 years, so there was a lot of changes, and he ended up running into a bunch of people that he used to race back in the late 50s. Couldn't get home fast enough to build a car, and this is what him and his original partner built. It was a replica of Gary Cagle's old Top Fuel car, a real tribute to those folks. They had a beautiful car. And of course, we didn't have the engine to put in it, so we ended up having a small block in the garage. It's been small block ever since, and we're having a bunch of fun.
What kind of ETs and speeds do you get out of this?
We run an index class. The idea of our particular class is to go as close to 750 ET as you can get without going any quicker. That's an illegal act. Mile an hour is open, and we've got a one-time speed of 208. And our typical pass is right about 188, 190, right in that range.
It must be a blast to drive.
Oh, it is. It is. I can't wait to get in. Dry, hot, burnouts, back up, fired up just to test. That's me. Addicted all the way.
Talk about this event. I mean, for the first time in years, we're seeing nostalgia racing back from the 60s here in Southern California again.
This is the way it should be. Grassroots, no electronics, run what you brung type guys. Some of the best racers in the world here. These guys will be in the final round against you for all the money. And if something's hurt, they're in your pit helping you. We're helping them, and we want to get them. We came to race. We tell everybody the same thing. Sherman tank, tricycle, helicopter, we don't care. Put both lights on, let's go. We shake hands at the finish line, win or lose. Yeah, it's all about fun.
Talk about the prospect of this proposed racetrack. I mean, this could actually be a permanent thing for you guys.
Yeah, well, that's why we're here. We're in support of it. Southern California needs another racetrack in the area. It's the best thing that could possibly happen. It gives the street racers someplace to go. It gives the serious competitors a place to go. And this is how you start. I mean, that's where I came from. It's the way it needs to be. So we're here to show our support, and we'll always be here.
What kind of performance is he expecting tonight with this car?
We would like to get out of here with a 468, 470 right in that range. That's a good pass for us. That puts us around a 720, 730 pass normally on a full quarter-mile run. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to step it up. If the track will hold us, we're going to put the metal to it.
Good luck to you, Dave.
Thanks a lot. Come and see us anytime.
And now let's once again head trackside and catch the first round of action of the Night of Fire.
At 86 miles an hour, the dragster trying to run him down. Ben Reeves and Black.
It's been 5 years since his last voyage, but the lure of nitro burners at night couldn't keep Mike Cook from coming to Banning and doing a little ground shaking.
Mike, what do you think about the event tonight?
Oh, it's great that we have a place to run these cars, and it's affordable and looks like everybody's having a good time.
Looks like you had yourself one nostalgic run first round with all that tire smoke.
Well, you got to drive it the right way. If it ain't smoking the tires from end to end, it ain't, period. So we try to keep the car as it was in 1969 when it was new, and that's the way we drove them. So that's the way we do it.
Tell us about your race car.
This is a 1969 original Woody Gilmore built car. It's got a Tom Hanna body. It's a 392 Chrysler Hemi iron motor. It's a 1957. It's got a 671 blower on it. That's one of the restrictions of Nostalgia Top Fuel. We're only running about 50% nitro today. We generally run 80 to 90. We have a limited tire that we run. Car generally runs around 690, 220 miles an hour. And it's been around for a while. It's kind of nice to have an original piece.
What do you think about this particular event and the possibility that this track could become a permanent reality?
Well, I don't know what the politics are. The location is fine. You know, the fellows that are running the event are getting it together pretty well. The crowd seems to be great. That's the main thing that we need. That's what some of the other desert tracks don't have, is a crowd base and a comfort level that women will come to, and you know, you can enjoy being here. Some of the other tracks, you got to be pretty hardcore. Your girlfriend ain't coming twice, so hopefully they'll put in a facility that's family friendly, and I'm sure that everybody's putting on a good enough show that it's entertaining. And we want to come back and put on our show the way we did when we started Nostalgia Top Fuel. This event has given us a place to race the car. Keep them kids off the street. You know, you're giving drag racing a bad image when they're out racing on the street, but they've got no place to go. Street legal drags at Pomona, they shut that down. So the need is far greater than most people are aware of who've been running the sport.
So what can we expect on the next run, Mike?
Same thing as you got before. If the pedal ain't to the metal, it's definitely going to be smoking halfway through anyway. Let's see if we can make it down through there safely and give you guys a good show and some more smoke.
All right, good luck, Mike.
Thank you.
With Mike Cook and the Ground Shaker crew making their final adjustments, let's once again head to the pavement and catch the second round action of the Night of Fire.
This is your call. We want to get you on the track, get down here. We don't want to be here all night. It's already getting kind of late.
Tonight's action is just a taste of what's coming down the drag racing pipeline here in Southern California. To hear more about what's coming up with this latest track, then log on to www.drag-city.com and find out more about this exciting new project. Till then, this is J.R. Ibarra from Banning Airport. So long, everybody.